The Bedouins, they are tribes and they're traveling everywhere all over Egypt. Exactly the same with Gypsy. They are traveling everywhere all over Egypt. They stay for a short period or a short time inside villages or inside cities, then they go back again to their own life, which it means outside cities or outside villages. If we say that Ghawazi, they are part of this tribe, so why not if they go with them, travel everywhere with them? But most of the time they are inside cities. We have, by the way, two main families. One family live in North Egypt. We say Sombat's sons, Sombat, sons. And the other family who live in Luxor, we call them Mazen's daughters. Main point is why these Ghawazi, they live inside cities. This is one of the anthropological question. And why the others, I mean the tribes, I mean Gypsy, they are outside cities or they live outside cities or outside villages. In this point, we go back again to their lifestyle. Suddenly or immediately, you will find through the history and also all sources indicated that Gypsy, they are working in a low type of work in the society. They go or they enter the cities or they going to the villages or the cities and they stay for a period of time, then they go out, as I told you. But their type of work is a low work inside the society. Vice versa with Ghawazi. Yes, the Ghawazi, they have their own type of work, which it is they were dancers or they still dancers or they are dancers. This is another point. If someone of you said that Gypsy, they are dancers also, yes, of course, they are dancers also. How many one of you did or make a compare between both of them through their type of dance, through their type of steps? Immediately you will find that Gypsy, they are much stronger in their type of dance steps or their performance than Ghawazi. Ghawazi, when they're going to dance, you will find, yes, of course, they dancing hard or not soft, but they are softer than Gypsy. Why? This is another question you have to ask yourself. I will tell you, people who are living in cities or inside cities or they live inside villages, they are much more calm than people who are traveling everywhere. When I stay inside city for a long time or long period or generation after generation, suddenly I found that my soul became calm, which can help me to feel I'm happy or I feel relaxed much more than people who are traveling everywhere. There is no place to stay for a long time. There is no land to stay in for a long time. A house, I can go enter the house and I stay inside the house, not tent. The tent, I can take it with me and I go everywhere, no problem in this, okay. But I feel not comfortable, I feel not calm. This is the way to understand why Bedouins, you feel them that they are stronger, or when they are talking so hard or something like that. Their way of life, it is like that. It is the same exactly with Gypsy tribes. All the time, or if you go back again to the theory in anthropology, immediately you will find that we say or we call tribes to the people who live in the deserts, but we say family to people who live inside cities or villages. That is exactly why we say that Ghawazi family. We didn't say Ghawazi tribes. Even in Egypt, all of us, we say Ghawazi family. Some of us sometimes say Ghawazi tribes, but this is completely wrong. Ghawazi, either they are dancers or dancers and musicians or musicians, and they don't work in a low type of work inside cities or inside villages, but gypsy. This is the main point you have to keep in mind. Gypsy, they have also musicians and they have also dancers, but their type of dance, it is much more strong, much more hard. Also their music changing most of the time. Sometimes you can find it from this village, sometimes from the other village. In Upper Egypt, for example, they has their own type of music, the way of playing music, which is the gypsy over there. They have this type of music, but for the musicians or people who study music, immediately you will find that some different types of music in Upper Egypt. So you will find that this difference, you can smell it or you can listen to it or you can hear it with gypsy. But with Ghawazi, no, they have their own type of music, which it means exactly this type of music belongs to them. Of course, they are dancing onto the gypsy music sometimes, but they has their own type of music. Exactly the same also with the Ghawazi who live in North Egypt. Both of them, they were one family since long time, but because of some reasons, they became two families like that. It could be some of gypsy men married from some of the Ghawazi. Why not? It is okay, no problem in this. But I have to give you one point, very important point. With gypsy in Egypt, every gypsy male in the gypsy tribes has two names. One name you know, for example, or anybody can know, normal like this, and another name belongs to him inside his tribe. And also he has his wife inside his tribe, which it means if he marry from outside, a foreigner, than his tribe, he has another one inside his tribe. So it could be two. So why not if he marry from someone outside? No problem in this. For some purpose, maybe one day I can explain you much more about it. But for some purpose, he married, or one of them married one of Ghawazi long ago, or something like that. So why not? But do you think because he married her, so she became one of gypsy? I don't think so, because it is, or the life is not easy like that, or the way like this. So this is another point. So it could be someone married from them, I mean in Upper Egypt, why not? But they are not gypsy, they are Ghawazi family. Also, their way of talking, it is not the same as gypsy talking, their tongue. Gypsy, they have something, we call it seam, which is special type of talking or tongue belongs to gypsy. Ghawazis, they don't know. Sometimes they use some words of it, but not exactly the same phonetics or the same way of talking like gypsy. The same also with Ghawazi who live in, or the Ghawazi who live in North Egypt. It is exactly the same. So for this reason, this is another, or let me say, this is another point we have to keep in mind when we go look at both of them or put them on the spot and try to understand what is the difference between both of them. The strange point is sometimes some foreigners, they push people or the public people to say what they want, not the truth. So this is also very strange for me. If you are an anthropological worker, or you're working in anthropology, or you studied anthropology, you have to understand how you can find the phenomenon in the society and how you can collect the correct phenomenon in the society to understand exactly what is behind and what is around this type of phenomenon. This is the way of studying the phenomenon. But what I found is people, they changing sometimes, or they want the society to think the same as they think, which they push the society to what they want exactly, which is very strange. I'm not talking that the old theories was wrong or were wrong or something like that, or people in the past they were wrong or something like this, but life changing and the new information coming all the time, and we have to share the information between us to grow up our minds. I'm not pushing you to say that Ghawazi are different, or Gypsy are different, or Bedouins are different, or something like that. I'm just give you the information in front of you. Think once more again and see the difference between both of them or all of them to understand the difference between all. For example, if I give you 2 points or 3 points between Gypsy tribes and Bedouin tribes, immediately you will find both of them, they are equal or they are the same, which is very strange. Yes, also very easy to tell you something like that and very easy to push you in this way, but or I will do a mistake in this point, I will be wrong. If I asked you about Bedouins, for example, what type of, or what is the main work of them, immediately all of you will say that shepherds, men, or shepherding, which is right, shepherding, it is right. What about Gypsy? Here is the main point. Most of Gypsy tribes who visiting or who they going to visit the Egyptian villages or cities, they came with ships with them, with these animals with them. But where are the camels, for example? Another question. Where are the other types of animals, cows, and so on and so on? Immediately you will find some points changing to let you understand the difference between the lifestyle between both of them. I mean Bedouins and Gypsy, for example. We have 3 main sources. I can tell you some points about them, or let me say some 3 main books talking about Gypsy in a very nice way. Edward William Lane with his book talking about Egypt, and Sophia Lane Paul, yes, Sophia Lane Paul talking about Egypt also, and Naum Shoker. Naum Shoker is very important. His book is very important. Naum Shoker he talk about Gypsy who live in Sinai Peninsula. I discovered this I discovered this a few months ago, or maybe not a few months, 6 months ago, or 1 year, not more than that. This type of Gypsy tribes who live in Sinai Peninsula completely different than the Gypsy who live in Upper Egypt or near to Cairo or in Delta. This is another point, very strange point. If we say, but by the way, they hasn't Ghawazi over there. So how come now? If we have Gypsy and Ghawazi together, one tribe, it could be one family, at least one family live over there, but there is no Ghawazi families live in Sinai Peninsula, only in Delta and Upper Egypt. So this is the strange point. Now, if we say that we have Ghawazi tribes, or Ghawazi tribe, they are part of Gypsy tribes, why we don't have another family in another area or in another place around us, I mean in another country? We haven't. By the way, the Gypsy who live in Sinai Peninsula, they have their roots coming from Levant area, Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine. This area, by the way. So now you can understand that there is a route in this area over there. Some of these routes, or some part, or a part of this route came or arrived or entered the other part of Egypt. Also, we can find over there in the other side, in northern African countries, some Gypsy. Yes, also, but where is Ghawazi? Ghawazi only in Egypt. Where? North and Upper Egypt. Northern Egypt and Upper Egypt. This is also another point we have to keep in mind when we're going to study the way or the life between, or the life of Gypsy and Ghawazi. Another point, which is a strange point little bit, but I have to put it in the front of you. Yes, also the skin. The skin of Gypsy are not the same as the skin of Ghawazi. This is another point. Also, very important point. The DNA, yes, also another point. A lot of things like that. For this reason, we cannot say that they are one family. Of course, or could be they married from each others. No problem in this. But it is not the meaning that Ghawazi, they became Gypsy, or they are part of Gypsy. If they are part of Gypsy, either they go with them, travel with them everywhere, or Gypsy, they stay with them inside cities or inside villages. This is exactly the main points I love to share with you, of course. In addition, still much more points, but these points are the most common or the most important points what I reached or what I found, and I wrote it actually inside my researches, and I love very much to share with you. If you have any comment or any new questions or any questions about this, please write it to me, send it to me, and of course I love very much to hear your opinion about, and don't push people to say as you want, or to let them say exactly about the stories you have, you read before, or something like that. Life changing and new information coming every moment, every time, which is very easy for all of you to read more. Please try to imagine how it comes and why we say something like that and why we're doing something like that. If you look at them once more again, their type of dance or their way of performance, immediately you will find big difference between both of them. Very easy like that. And the other side, some of them, I mean for Gypsy, they married Ghawazi to hire them in parties, to let them dancing in parties and earn money back from them, something like that. This is another point, yes, also. Another main point in Iraq, for example, we have a strange phenomenon. It was in Egypt, and long ago was in Egypt, yes, also. Sometimes Gypsy over there, in one of the sources was written, I'm not talking about from my mind or something like that, they were kidnapped boys and girls and used them for some purpose. Yes, also was also here in Egypt long ago, but we never heard that Ghawazi, they kidnapped boys or girls. We never hear something like that. We haven't any evidence about this, but only Gypsy. So this is another point, yes, also to let you understand the difference between both of them. Still much more points I love to talk with you about, but enough. This is main points I would like to share with you. I will be waiting for your comments, and of course, if you have this video very useful or useful for you, please share it with your friends, and I will be waiting for your comments. Thank you very much, and see you again in the next video.